Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight I'm here to react to your assumptions about me. I did post this on my community page and gathered a lot of really good ones. So I'm going to react to them now and we'll see, do you guys get them right? Do you get them wrong? Let's talk about it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, we have little Axel here, so we'll see how long he decides to stick around. So there are 74 comments. I do think some of these are, I don't know if it's actually 74 assumptions, because I also think that I responded to a couple of them. So there's a lot here, so let's get started. The first one is, you're very stoic, except when it comes to Axel. But you have a big heart, you care deeply about your friends, and you're extremely loyal. Also, you're never late. Yes, I would say that is pretty accurate. You know, I've always done my best in life to not be a complainer, and I don't know if that comes from, you know, my upbringing or what it is, but I've looked at hardships and tough chapters in life as just something that happens. I don't try to align the stars and look for some sort of deep explanation onto why this is happening, but I try to keep my chin up and just keep moving forward and you know, get through it, because the one thing that I have realized is, no matter, this is gonna sound so corny, but no matter what life hands you, unless it's something like death, you're gonna get through it. You will come through on the other side. And it might be a day, it might be a few hours, or it might be a few weeks. And if you can focus on what's next and focus on what you're doing to make it to what's next, it will help you a lot. And I've just always kind of been the type of person that sitting around and complaining about something has never helped me get to what's next or get me out of what I'm dealing with. And that's not to say that your emotions should be ignored or put away and, you know, locked away with a key. But I also feel like I sort of reserve my emotions for when things are actually really bad. And typically once you come out of something, you realize that wasn't that bad. It was just a little tough chapter, little, you know, pothole in the road, and you move on. On the flip side of that, yes, you are right. When it comes to Axel, anything with him is blown 10 times out of proportion, and it's a really big deal. And part of the reason too is because he can't communicate with us. So I'll give you guys an example. He was dealing with seasonal allergies. We noticed when he was about a year old, he started licking his paws, and we couldn't figure it out. At first we thought it was his food, then we thought, you know, let's try some Benadryl. We tried that under the advice of his vet, and that didn't work. And so during that trial and error, that was really difficult. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I realize that dogs with seasonal allergies is actually very normal. But when I was first experiencing it, I had never seen that with any of my other dogs. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, what in the world is wrong with my dog? Like, you know, and it wasn't that big of a deal. We did get it under control, and he gets a seasonal allergy shot now, so he's not having to take any medication every day. And that treatment plan has worked out really well for him. You care deeply about your friends and you're very loyal. I am, until I'm not. Once you cross me or I feel like you are shady, I'm done. I do not second chances. That's kind of how I look at it, and that might be a little bit harsh to hear, but that's just how I am. I am very loyal to the people that I am loyal to until I'm not. And I'm not here for, you know, make up notes and this fake bullshit that happens a lot of times in life. I'm not here for it. I would rather have 2 or 3 people that I actually consider friends instead of a bunch of half-assed people in my circle just so that I feel less lonely. No thanks. And the last one, I'm never late. I do my best to never be late. I also wouldn't say that I'm early. I'm not going to show up to something like 30 minutes early. But yes, I do my best to be on time unless something happens that's completely out of my control, like traffic or something like that. Okay, next one is you stand up for children, and that to me is everything. So thank you. And I try to do my best to, stand up for kids. I think that there is this common misconception that unless you're a parent or someone who has young siblings or kids in your family, that there's no way that you can stand up for kids or have an opinion about parenting or anything like that. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. All that it takes is someone who has a logical point of view to be able to stand up for kids. And whether that message is delivered in a more serious manner or, something like Dad Challenge podcast does, where he pokes fun at a lot of things, but it's also laced with serious commentary. As long as your message is pure and your intentions are pure, I love when people stand up for kids. I equally appreciate people that stand up for animals and are, animal advocates. It's very important to me, and it always will be. Okay, next one. You like order in life. If things get chaotic, you feel off. You're extremely organized. You like to dig into any topic you find interesting and like to know all the details. You're logical, fair, respectful with others, and would like to be treated that way in return. Axel is truly your soulmate. Well, the last one is definitely true. As far as having order in my life, I don't like surprises. So I'm not one of those people who just, tomorrow I'm on a flight to Italy. That's not the way that my mind works. I like to plan, I like to organize, and I like to know what's going to happen within reason. Obviously, there's always things that happen that you can't plan for, and you have to deal with it right there. But yeah, I do like when I know what's happening next week or even the week after that. And as far as liking to dig into any topic, I am interested in so many different things. And I hope that you guys always feel that from my channel, where you're being exposed to a lot of different things. I don't ever want to be a one-trick pony where I'm only doing true crime, or I'm only talking about mommy vloggers, or I'm only talking about anti-MLM stuff. I want to talk about it all, and there are many different things in the future that I will bring to you guys, and sometimes it might be like, what the hell is this video and why are you talking about this? And it adds some excitement as far as the topics that I'm going to cover. And I always want you guys to send me suggestions. I'm going to try to be better about running polls and stuff like that. I've done those a few times in the past and they seem to work out really well. So I will try to incorporate more of those. But if you guys ever have a random topic you want a video on or my opinion on, send me a DM on Instagram, send me an email, leave a comment. But I always say the most direct way to get to me would be a DM on Instagram or an email. And yeah, I would love to look into anything. And as far as being logical, fair, and respectful, I think that I am. I try to do my best. I'm definitely not perfect. I've made my mistakes on my channel and I will make more in the future. My effort is always there and my intention is always there to deliver good content to you guys and not half-ass stuff just for views or clicks. And yes, as far as being fair and respectful, I would like that in return. And as you get older, you really start to experience how respect is so hard to find, especially true respect. People might respect you because you work together, or they're trying to impress someone else by being, having respect for you. And a lot of it is fake and phony, unfortunately, just like a lot of other things in life. So it is what it is. I assume that one of your biggest joys in life is when you are able to take Axel out for fun new adventures, experiences that make him happy. Yeah, for sure. We love to take Axel to new trails or new parks or anything like that. We stay away from the dog park. There's been a handful of times where we've taken him to the dog park in the past, but I just don't care for it. You know, typically there's a lot of owners there that are on their phones, not paying attention. Other dogs might not be so friendly. And I just feel like there are so many bad experiences that come out of the dog park. I would much rather take him to, you know, a county park or even a state park where he can kind of do his own thing on a leash, of course. You know, I want to be careful with that, but just allow him to explore and not have to worry about, you know, some crazy little dog coming up and biting him on the leg, and then we're at the vet and trying to get another dog owner to help us with the vet bill. It can just turn into drama. Okay, next, somebody who has a very strong person. Somebody who has become a very strong person through life experiences, doesn't let BS get them down, sees the positives in their lives, sets goals, kind, and has the sweetest friend, Axel. Axel is always the sweetest, best thing in life. And yeah, as far as life experiences, they've definitely helped make me who I am now. And it has also sort of narrowed my sight to not allow day-to-day nonsense get in the way. And that's why a lot of times I look at this stuff on YouTube and on social media, and it's just astonishing how people get so wrapped up in the silliest bullshit. And you know, if it's entertaining, it's entertaining. I have been there too. But as far as being overly invested in wasting hours of your life to consume this bullshit, drama, toxic nonsense that does not fulfill your life or teach you a lesson or entertain you, once it gets to that point, you know, I always say it's time to unplug and find something else to consume online. Okay, next is you've had that haircut for a long time. Not hating, it really suits you. So yes, I actually, when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend in 2007, I chopped all my hair off because he liked long, dark hair and he never wanted me to have short hair. So we broke up, and literally the same week I went and chopped 12 inches off of my hair, and it was amazing. It was exhilarating. I loved having short hair. All of a sudden I could just dry my hair in 10 minutes and be out the door. And since then I've loved having short hair. I do think that it really suits me. You know, on top of it, just to really piss him off, because I knew back then he would be still looking at my photos on Facebook. You know, back when I had a Facebook, I also did add some blonde highlights to my new short hair just to piss him off. I was also very young and, you know, pretty immature, but it was like a big fuck you to him for trying to tell me that I wasn't allowed to have anything but long brown hair. Get over yourself. Next is self-reliant, strong, non-judgmental, kind, and clever, plus a very proud owner of Axel, a well-loved fur baby. Yes, Axel is definitely well-loved. And yeah, I would say self-reliant. I've done my best to kind of, you know, do my own thing to a certain degree. It's not a secret that it helps having a partner who, you know, we divide the house of bills and we're very good about that. So that does help. But, you know, the things that I buy for myself come from the money that I earn from my job, and I try to not ever go to anyone asking for a handout. To me, I just don't like it. I don't like feeling like I owe someone money or a favor or anything like that. And as far as being non-judgmental, it's funny that you said that, because I'm going to do a video probably tomorrow, or it might be one day this week. We'll see kind of how things go, but I'm going to do a video on the things that I will judge people for. It's only a few things, but I think it'll be a really telling video to kind of see like where my standards are. And I think it'll also open up a really interesting conversation, because even if I try my best to not judge people, and I do a very good job, there are still a few things that if I see them, I'm judging you. And that's just how it is. And I think that'll be a really good video. So that will be coming in the next few days. The next one is your home is extremely clean and spotless. I don't think that our house is extremely clean, it's definitely tidy, and I do my best to keep dog hair out of our house, because I hate to see like tumbleweeds of dog hair in the corners and stuff. Like, I can't deal with that. It just makes my whole house feel gross. So I do my best to do the Febreze at least once a day, or not the Febreze, the Swiffer, to get all the dog hair, because we have hardwood floors. And then we try to vacuum like usually like twice a week and keep things tidy. We're definitely not like clean freaks, and I usually feel like towards the end of the week the house can be a little messy. Like, there's 2 or 3 loads of laundry that needs to be done. And that's the other nice thing about me working from home, is that I can work on the laundry and do the dishes and stuff while I'm sitting here working, and it doesn't pile up. So that's definitely an added bonus. You became financially independent at a young age because you fear relying on someone else, including loved ones, for anything. I wouldn't really say that I became financially independent at a young age, but I would say by my late 20s, I was on my way to feeling pretty good about myself. You know, my late teen years and pretty much all the way through my 20s, I was very much not having a lot of cash flow, you know, struggling to just get my ducks in a row. I owed a lot of money on credit cards, and it was a mess, and it was a lot. And there for a while, I wasn't making a lot of money. So I was definitely living paycheck to paycheck. I was taking public transit because I didn't have a car for a while. And I was also smoking a pack of cigarettes a day and had a Red Bull habit. Still have the Red Bull habit. Don't hate me. But with smoking a pack a day, using the metro, and not making a lot of money, I would say my finances were a shit show there for a while. But luckily, once I kind of paid off the credit cards and then could focus on saving a little bit, you know, eventually I got my car, and, you know, kind of the rest is history. But I would have loved to have been financially independent at a much younger age, but it did take a lot of struggling to get where I am. And that's the other thing, you know, people want so badly to throw the label snob, you know, on me specifically. And I don't think that when you're proud of what you have worked to become, I don't think that that's a correct label to throw on someone. I am very proud to have worked my ass off to get where I am today. And, you know, not having a college education and working in different industries and kind of working my way up the corporate ladder and building my experience. It's been a lot. So where I am now, I'm very proud to say that I've done it on my own. So either way, people are going to label you whatever they want to label you. That you are very sensitive and an introvert. I feel like you have been badly hurt by someone. You are calm, intelligent, and considered in your approach. Finally, you love dogs, especially Axel. Definitely the last part. I would say that I'm sensitive when it matters. I'm not sensitive with everything, but if I feel like something is very wrong and very out of line, then yes, I get sensitive towards certain topics. Definitely an introvert, absolutely. And I always have been. If you guys haven't watched my high school experience story, go check that out, because that tells you kind of a lot of my adolescent years through high school. And I do think that that formed me into being somewhat of an introvert in my adult life. Don't get me wrong, I have some friends and that's all good and well, but if I had a choice to go out with my friends or stay home with my dog and, you know, veg out, I'm always going to pick Axel. And I think that that's the introvert in me. I feel like you've been badly hurt by someone. I've been hurt by a few people in my life. I don't really know if I would consider it the worst of the worst. I know that some people have really, really dark stories with, you know, being hurt. but my trust is also very low with people. So I'm not quick to trust new people in my life. And if I do trust you, you'll know it. But it's very, very few and far between. Okay, next one is you are kind, caring, loving, you are kind, caring, loyal, love deeply, and don't use the word hate towards people. Oh, and always look on point and classy. Well, I do my best to look presentable. But as far as being caring, yeah, like the things that I care about, I care very deeply. And yes, I am loyal. Mentioning what I did earlier, if I'm loyal until I'm not. And once I'm not, there's really no going back for me. I'm not a big believer in second chances, like in my personal life. Now, as far as giving a second chance to a content creator or, your neighbor who did something to piss you off, like that's different. But if I really feel slighted by someone in my personal life, then there's a very low chance that I'm going to grant a second chance for that, especially depending on what it is. And I don't use the word hate towards people. No, I wouldn't say that I use the word hate towards people. I definitely hate the way that some people act and the way that they present themselves. But as far as hating a person, I can only think of a couple people that I've really hated that were not part of my personal life, if that makes sense. Hi Key, you were a model sometime in your life, just the way you talk in a good way. You have a soothing voice and your style. Never a model. My grandmother always wanted me to pursue modeling, but I never really knew at a young age, like, how to get into it. I didn't have any connections. So it was always something that she wanted me to do, but I never pursued it. So it just kind of like sat in the water. Next one is, I think if someone lets you down, you may be hurt, but you also see a valuable lesson. Yes, absolutely. That hurt is short term, but it also adds something that I can look at in the future as far as, maybe it's looking at it like, oh wow, that person must be so miserable that they had to interfere in my life and, whatever the outcome is. You don't seem like someone that really enjoys music and making different playlists, follow artists, following new releases. I love music, but I don't like most new music. So as far as the following new releases, I don't really follow current music. I adore music. The music that I like is old hip hop, R&B, and yeah, some of the newer stuff. I do like Billie Eilish. I've liked some of her music, but most of the stuff that I really love is from like the mid 2000s and back. So new music, I don't keep up with it really. It's just not entertaining to me. I assume that you are wicked, organized, and efficient. I assume you color match your hair to Axel. I assume you secretly love Axel more than your significant other. It depends on the day, but that could definitely make sense there. And as far as my hair color, you guys know my hair color is natural. This is just my natural, I call it boring brown, but people seem to love it. And as far as being organized and efficient, yes, I would consider myself organized. And I do my best to be efficient. We all have days where we're kind of lagging behind, but for the most part, I like to be efficient early in the day so that I can enjoy my afternoon, especially Fridays. Fridays when I go into work, I want to get it all done by like 1 o'clock. So in between 1 o'clock and when I leave, I can just kind of handle things if they come up, monitor my emails, and have a quiet Friday afternoon. There's nothing best than a chilled out Friday afternoon at work. One of the classier YouTubers I've come across, people, I take that as such a deep compliment, and people constantly tell me how classy I am and level-headed I am, and I take that as such a great compliment. but I'm just doing my best. You know, don't get me wrong. I have a mouth like a sailor. I cuss a lot, and recently I have been kind of cutting profanities out and when I'm editing videos, just because, you know, sometimes not everybody wants to hear the F-bomb when I'm delivering a video, and I understand that. But I'm just doing my best. I'm not perfect. I'm just being who I am. If y'all ran into me at Starbucks or Target, like, this is the conversation that we would have. I'm not putting on a persona. I'm not being louder than I normally am. I'm not being more quiet than I normally am. I decided, and I've talked about this before, when I started making YouTube videos, I said, I'm not going to put on a persona, because if someone ever met me in real life, I want them to resonate with who they've been watching on the screen. I don't want it to be some, you know, pop out of the box, like on 1,000 the whole video. This is just who I am. So I appreciate the fact that it comes through, and I appreciate even more the compliments that I get. You all know you don't have to compliment me, but I appreciate it when I do hear them. Hard exterior, soft interior, intelligent, self-confident, organized, nurturing, bullheaded at times, I bet. You don't have to raise your voice to make a point. Good dog mama. Do my best to be a good dog mama all the time. Yeah, I would say that I've heard that a lot during my life, where people do see a hard exterior, and it's because I'm not super social, and I'm not like running up to you to start a conversation. But once people engage in conversation with me, then they really understand who I am in a better way, I guess, if that makes sense. You know, I try to just be very level, and sometimes I'll get a little fired up about stuff, but I'm not going to do cartwheels on my YouTube channel or be phony and extra happy, because that's just not who I am. So y'all seem to appreciate it, and it works for you, it works for me. I assume you take a methodical approach when speaking about issues. It's the reason your commentary is so clear. For sure. There's this really great thing that I learned a while ago, and that is that if you're raising your voice, that doesn't mean that people are going to listen to you. In fact, if you're raising your voice, people are more apt to tune out, because as human beings, most of us don't like to receive information when it's being yelled at us or screamed into our ears. That's the reason why, I don't know about you guys, but when I was little, if my dad raised his voice, which he did many times, I wouldn't listen. I would just hear wah, 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 and wait for it to be over. So when I'm delivering commentary, I want it to come from a level voice. Me and you, we're having a conversation, and it's not to have a lack of personality. That's not the key. But the key is to have people listen. And if I'm to the point, concise, and clear, then we can talk about all the other stuff, you know, later on in the video. But when I'm delivering information, I want it to be in a manner that is digestible and easy for people to listen to. So I'm glad that it comes across that way for most people. And some people might enjoy that overzealous, yelling at the camera, comical, crazy kind of delivery. But based on what I have heard from most of my community, you guys enjoy the level-headed, no-nonsense approach that I take. Okay, next one says that you love your vegetables, which is great, of course, because your skin looks so good. And my Italian grandma always said, eat your veggies to get good skin. I hate vegetables. This is why I don't usually talk about, like, you know, food tips and stuff. Like, y'all would be embarrassed if you saw what I eat in a day. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I will do a smoothie and that'll have some spinach and, maybe a little bit of mint in it. But primarily, I don't like vegetables. I'll like a Caesar salad once in a while. But as far as just getting, if I have my choice between a side of fries and a side of sauteed vegetables, I'm getting fries. Now, I do like potatoes, but I don't know, potatoes, it's a little different, like having a baked potato versus like squash. But no, like my diet is embarrassing. I don't eat healthy. I do not, I don't eat veggies with my meals on a normal basis. And if I do, it's usually going to be a Caesar salad or a baked potato. And a baked potato is not healthy. Let's not lie. Strong, confident, you prefer dogs over most people. Not an assumption, but I predict you will go really far. I really enjoy your channel. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad that my confidence comes across on camera. I think that that's the one thing. When I look at my old videos and I look at my content now, that is the only thing that I can tell that has changed, in that I am confident talking to a camera. It's an adjustment, getting used to talking to a lens as if someone is in front of you. And that is my confidence. If anyone wants to say that I have changed, I would say that my change has happened where I feel okay talking to a camera in my bedroom. And that's awesome. And I'm glad that that comes across. And if people want to confuse confidence for cockiness, I'm not cocky. I'm just comfortable talking to a camera, and I'm comfortable delivering my opinions because I know that I'm not screaming at you guys or making, deep, rude, personal insults to anybody that I'm covering, and that seems to have worked for me so far. And as far as preferring dogs over people, absolutely, dogs any day. You keep it real, and a lot of people can't handle it. Oh, and the next comment says, you always keep it real, and I like that. Thank you. I'm always going to keep it real with you guys. That's just who I am. And if I fuck up, y'all are going to know about it. And if I fuck up and I get called out for it by my community, I'm going to address it just like I have in the past. And, for some reason, there is this misconception that keeping it real is being a bitch. And I can't help people that look at it that way. I'm not a bitch. I have a lot of passion and I have a lot of confidence in what I'm putting on my channel and who I'm talking to and who I'm talking about. Yeah, and if it's just so funny. Keeping it real, yeah, some people can't handle it. There will always be those who, for some reason, think that keeping it real equates to being mean or being a bitch. And at this point, I just cannot care about those people anymore. You have an open mind and always consider both sides of a situation. You think through all the way before making decisions. You are an empath who sometimes gets labeled as being a little too standoffish, but your heart is gold. Oh, but your heart of gold shines quickly once you've gotten to know and trust someone. A gal who has her shit together that other gals look at and think, wow, her skin is so pretty and healthy. She probably has a super organized and tidy lifestyle, which is good. Her friends admire the type of person she is, and she is a dog person, which is a good thing. So let's unpack this. I always consider both sides of a situation. Yes, I do my best, depending on what the topic is. Try to be level-headed. I think that that's part of being level-headed, is looking at both sides of any given situation, not just YouTube stuff, but in real life as well. You think things through all the way before making decisions. Absolutely. And I've been, blamed for taking too long to make decisions in the past, but that's just who I am. I really want to think through, especially if it's a big decision. I have problems making a decision for what's for dinner, and that can be annoying. But if it's an actual serious decision, yes, I will take sometimes longer than what's normal, just so that I can really decide what I want to do here. And as far as being labeled standoffish, yeah, for sure. I've been, like I said, I've been labeled snobby or whatever for a very long time now. I'm used to it. But yes, people who get to know me and take the time to talk to me or consume a lot of my content will know that I'm not, and that's what most people gather. And as far as being super organized, I'm organized. I wouldn't call myself super organized, but I do my best to keep things in order, because if I want to look for something, I want to know where to find it. I don't want to shuffle through a million things. I'm assuming you don't let people who are actually relevant in your life disrespect you in any way, and that you are very certain about what you do and do not want and allow in your life. That's absolutely correct. That's the whole thing about like second chances in real life are few and far between. Because once I feel like I am not being valued or someone wants to disrespect me, I will cut someone off so quickly. It's almost amazing. That's something I don't take a long time to make a decision about. I will cut you off so quickly and act like you are a fucking stranger to protect my own mental health and, well-being at times. Next one is you tend to play it safe with your look because it gives you comfort. Yeah, I'm not really one to do a bunch of like colorful, crazy looks or anything like that. I am who I am, and, my little bronze eyeshadow and black tops is what I love. You are playful in your real life. You would spend 24/7 or close to it with your boyfriend. If schedules permitted, you wouldn't be mad about being the sole breadwinner in your home. Yeah, I would say, being playful, sure. But as far as the spending 24/7, we've always been very good about having space, and he doesn't work Monday through Friday like I do, so I'm home alone a lot. And that has always worked for us. It's always worked really well for us to have our own time and space and not to be side by side all the time. Don't get me wrong, like we have been together for multiple days, no breaks. But I think it really builds a strong relationship when you are okay with spending time apart, if that makes sense. You like learning new things and have lots of goals. Yeah, especially depending on what the thing is. If it's fun, I would love to learn something new. But, and even as far as learning new stuff for work, I always kind of look at anything that I learn and perfect for work is going to go on my resume. And that's something that I've worked really hard to build, is having a really good resume that presents well so that I can market myself for future opportunities. And so, yeah, learning stuff, always a good thing. And even if it's annoying in the moment, I will look at it like, hey, don't forget, you can market yourself in the future. Just sit down and learn this. I know it's annoying, but it's all good. I am your favorite sub. Yeah, I'm spitting big facts today. Dropping bombs all over YouTube. Love you, Britt. I assume you're very cool, calm, and collected until you're not. No, in between 0 to 100 real quick. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. It takes a lot to get me to be super pissed off and angry. But yes, like once I feel like I've been pushed to that point, I'm either going to shut down completely and be silent, or I'm going to go off the hinges, and that can be very scary for not only me, but whoever else is involved. Okay, so some of this I already addressed, so I don't want it to become repetitive, but the comment says, you are honest, loyal, and take extreme pride in what you do. I think you are extremely organized and are in total control of what goes on in your life and around you. You don't trust easily, and you seem to keep a guard up at all times. and people have to prove themselves before you trust them. I think not having your mom around as a child affected you, and there is some sadness there. You have an amazing father and a wonderful grandmother that made sure you were raised with poise and very proper etiquette. The love you have for Axel is very precious, and I admire that. Someday you are going to be able to work from home because that seems to make you happy. Absolutely, it does, for sure. You make me laugh with your expressions sometimes, and I wish I could just bust out and say something that would shock the shit out of everyone. You're the best. I appreciate you. So touching on the things that I didn't talk about earlier in the video, there's definitely sadness about not having my mom around all the time as a kid. And, you know, one day I want to talk more about my mom, but there are so many, it's sort of like an onion when you start peeling back the layers. And there are certain things that I don't want to be on the internet, but I also think that telling my story with her could help someone. So I'll figure that out. I know that nobody's rushing me or anything, but it's just a lot. But yes, my dad and grandma, I would not be half the person that I am today if it wasn't for both of them. You drive about 100 miles on the beltway every day. Nope, not at all. I don't even take the beltway, thank God. I stay off the beltway as much as possible. For you guys that don't know, the beltway is a major highway in the DC area that goes through Maryland and Virginia and kind of goes around DC. And I don't drive 100 miles. I drive a very small fraction of that, which I'm very happy for. I assume your first priority every day is Axel. Absolutely. Whatever Axel wants, he gets. You know, I'm not eating dinner until he eats. Y'all already know he's my life. I assume that your car, kitchen, and bathroom is spotless, but your closet, bedroom, or what's off camera with your personal stuff is a disaster. No, everything in my house is tidy at one time. The things that fall apart is like the laundry room, and once in a while, like the kitchen, if dishes start to stack up. But aside from that, we're pretty good. I also assume you have figured out the best skincare regimen for a healthy, glowing skin. I've worked really hard on my skincare. You know, I've done a lot of trial and error, and what I've learned is being somewhat simplistic is what my skin does best with. And, you know, if I was going to say 2-star ingredients, what I always look for and what my skin has done really well with would be retinol and glycolic acid. Hands down, the best. You're not subscribed to a lot of channels and you don't get attached to YouTubers that you do watch. Absolutely. My subscription list is very short and I have cleaned it up a lot because when I open up my YouTube subscriptions, I'm getting tongue-tied. I want to be excited about the content that's on my subscription feed. So over the last year or so, I've cleaned it up because if I go a month or so and I'm just not excited about what you're putting out, I don't want to see it on my page anymore, you know? No nonsense person, kudos to that, for sure. Yeah, to a certain extent. I try to be understanding, but I'm also like, I'm not here for the bullshit. I think you guys can gather that too. Super organized and responsible. I talked about that. I assume you are as authentic on screen as you are off. I can clearly read that. You're such a kind person. Yeah, I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier with not putting on a personality. So if y'all ever met me outside, I want it to not be like, oh, well, who was that weirdo that I just met? That's not the person that I've been consuming her videos for the last 6 months, year and a half. I want it to be parallel to what you guys see. Intelligent, fair, and honest. You don't get involved in drama. You're naturally beautiful. I love your style. You like things orderly. You love Axel more than anything. You stick to your beliefs and don't waver. Yeah, for sure. All of those spot on. As far as not getting involved in drama, yeah, I've done my best to stay above it. I think that a lot of YouTubers, what happens is they start responding to drama and they get wrapped up in it, and then they can't, it's never just like one response and they're done. It's this back and forth, and they see that it's getting views and attention. But like what I've always said, that's not what the subscribers are here for. They're not here to watch a back and forth between two YouTubers. One of them they probably don't even know or care about. And now you're filling your channel with nonsense bullshit. Where is the content? This is what I always talk about. Conflict for content is not content. That is not what the subscriber is there for. Stop being petty, get out of the mud, and make some actual content. You want a sibling for Axel? Absolutely. One day I would love for that to happen. That you have a wicked dry sense of humor. Yeah, I would say my sense of humor can be pretty dry most of the time. You don't want to get married, but your boyfriend does. No, both of us share the same beliefs on marriage. We just kind of like don't care. There are added benefits to getting married, but for us, it's just not been, it hasn't made sense so far in our relationship, and we've done pretty good so far. Oh, and the next comment says, you think marriage is just a piece of paper and two people can be just as committed? Yeah, exactly. I'm just not a big believer in, oh, well, we've been together for this long, so you have to put a ring on it. We have to get married. You're not, I'm not setting benchmarks for our relationship. We're just doing what feels right and, what makes both of us equally as happy. Like I said, there are definitely added benefits to being married, but right now we're good where we are. You're good at math? Nope. Terrible at math. I'm really, really bad at math. I assume you don't always see the gray area. Things are black and white according to the standards you have set. I don't think you change your mind about something very often. It has taken you a long time to come to the point where you can say it's okay if I didn't do this or that. I think that with certain topics, there are gray areas that make sense to explore. But a lot of things, at least that I've talked about on my channel, in my mind are very black and white. But I also love to open up the conversation to you guys, because sometimes I'll deliver something looking at it in a black and white manner, but then I talk to you guys about it and it does kind of show me a little bit of a gray area of something that I possibly missed. So I hope that makes sense. Not afraid to say no, thank you. Yeah, I'm very good with being vocal about that. You love Starbucks, Wendy's, and Crumble. Crumble, I don't think that I'll go to Crumble on a normal basis. I'm not a big fiend for like super sugary cookies and stuff. But yes, Starbucks only during the holidays. So I love their holiday drinks. I could take it or leave it any other time of the year. And yes, I love Wendy's. I like Wendy's more than McDonald's. I assume you can't get going without coffee. I can't get going without caffeine, but not coffee. So I'll do a latte or a Red Bull. But I don't do like drip coffee. I can't stand it. It tastes like dirt water. You're a minimalist. I think that my wardrobe is kind of mirroring what a minimalist would be. But as far as other areas of my life, I'm not a minimalist. Unfortunately, I will admit that. I assume you have OCD. I do not have diagnosed OCD. There are certain things that I like. I like the things that I like, and I like them in this order. But I am not diagnosed OCD. I also think that a lot of people overuse OCD. They're like, oh my God, I'm OCD about this. I'm OCD about that. I know that you said that you're diagnosed with OCD, but a lot of undiagnosed people will just go around like slinging that word around. And just because you like things in order or to look a certain way, that doesn't mean that you have OCD. I feel like that word is so overly used. Let me know what you guys think. You have resting bitch face and people don't like you. Don't think you like them when first meeting because you look so serious. Yeah, I definitely have RBF all day long. I have forever. But then I hear that from anyone. They're like, oh my God, you have RBF, but like, you're so nice. You're so sweet. I hear that all the time. You aren't close with your mom. My mom and I have a very complex relationship. And I will talk about that at some point. Oh my God, this is insulting. You're homophobic. Absolutely not. You're an only child from a small family. I do have a small family, but I do have a half sister. And she is awesome. I have a relationship with her. We have gotten closer in our adult life than we were as kids. But yeah, she's awesome. You're a short woman. I'm 5'6", so I don't know if you would consider that short or not. I assume nothing because I try to not assume about other people. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me, LOL. Touche. You're a very sex positive person. Yeah, I would say that I definitely agree with that. I think that sex has just a veil of, I don't know, it's like you can't be a sex positive person and be classy at the same time. I don't understand that. That could be a whole video on itself. You and Nikki Filippi happen to be friends and she paid you to yell at her on camera. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So that's the last one. And let me get back to the top. So I'm going to be filming a Q&A in the next week or two as well. So I'll post that on my community page when I am ready to start collecting questions. Figured it was a good time to do a little Q&A. It's been a little while, but I appreciate you guys for giving me all of these assumptions. Some of them were spot on and some weren't, but I hope that through videos like this you can get to know me a little bit more. Yeah, they're always fun. I love doing Q&As. I love answering questions that you guys have about my life. I'm just so grateful that anyone is here, subscribed to my channel, and interested in what I have to say, if I'm being really honest. So either way, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.